Hi everybody. Thank you for, first of all, for everyone who's supported this channel and who came around and popped in, and I'm sorry that I've missed everybody else. As I said, the time zones seems to be a problem. I think we're so all over the place, all over the world, that we're struggling, but I do want to fill in what the missing parts are and recap and also answer a few questions that we've been talking about with regards to the call to creation. So essentially I want to say thank you for everyone who has been participating and who are still participating in doing the call to creation, which I am still doing. It must not stop, because what we're doing essentially is seeding consciousness in an awake state where we are aware of what we're doing. In other words, yes, I said hug the earth. That is the best way to explain what we're supposed to do, along with all of the malevolence that's also inside of it. It doesn't matter. You hug the entire body. If a person is sick, you don't just love that part of the body that's not sick, that you think is not sick. You love the entire person for who they are, not so. And so we're doing the same with this plane of existence, this story that we are writing. We are essentially meant to become aware, which I feel is part of the missing information that was supposed to come out in the video that I was trying to make in the stream. With all of the interruption and the interference, obviously it's a very important subject, and obviously the machine brain does not want this information to come out, because when this information comes out, it would then essentially put everybody on the spot. So what I want to, I'm not going to do the whole thing again, I'm just going to add in, so consider this as part 3, I suppose. So my findings, excuse me, my findings on what I experienced when I was thinking about healing and love, health, wealth, and happiness, which is in the first video where I explained what I was going to do. And I feel that energy. So I thought of it, and then I started to feel that energy, and it was coming out of me. And it is coming out of my hands, my senses, my body, and I'm embracing. Okay? What I felt after a few days, let's say I think it was about the 3rd day, I was making notes of what I was experiencing, was, aside from the fact that I was feeling everybody doing the same thing, which is actually remarkable. It's as if I could feel whole, wholeness from within all of us, those who have participated in that. I felt that the energy started to move. It was quite an amazing thing to see. I felt that suddenly the inflammation, as I mentioned before, started to lift a bit. I could feel that there was, okay, I think we're ready now to move on to the next thing. I think we're now less self-absorbed and we can actually look at everything around us. I could feel that even in this country there was a little bit of a shift in South Africa, which obviously will have to be done like maybe for a longer time. I felt kindness coming back, reflecting back to me, which is very important. And so the next thing, so basically in that way, it is a continuation of being consciously aware of how we are creating. That is that was the message. What we feel, we experience. What we feel from within ourselves, we experience outside of ourselves. Now you've had the actual experience of it. Now I know that there are definitely some rough things that came through. I know I'm looking at a message here where many of you have experienced sadness, frustration, anger, and felt disappointment for the violence that was committed. That is what moves out. So it's essentially so. For everyone who has discovered that there were also negative things that came through suddenly while this process was taking place, when you are creating, when you are bringing in creator, when you are seeding consciousness, your words are like water that pour into a cup. And only when the water pours into as a steady stream does whatever was stuck in the cup. If it was a dirty cup, you didn't know it was dirty until you've poured the water and it starts to flow to the top. And that's basically what you will be experiencing, is the more water you pour in, whatever it's doing, it's cleaning that cup out. It's showing you, it's bubbling up. It's showing all these things coming up to the surface. And the next thing you need to do is to learn to become objectively observant, where you're observing the cleansing that is taking place. Essentially, when seeds are put into the earth, they need to be in a very good state, in a very good place. The earth has to be in a good place, a good, healthy environment for the seed to go through. If it's not healthy, the seed won't grow. And then you just put water over the ground, and then it starts to grow, because you then feed the ground, feed the earth with medicine, natural medicine. There is another question. This question of observing about myself, I found, okay, all right, you're experiencing that there's going to be something coming. Well, there's always something coming. Let me tell you that. It's every day. And I also see that you're right here. Your heart feels heavy. Your heart feels heavy, but your mind is somehow at ease. Yes, that is exactly how it feels. That's when you've become in your awareness, in your observation. Not awareness, observing, objectivity, without becoming emotionally engaged with what you're doing. Then. Thank you for the questions, White Rabbit and Be Ambitious. Thank you for that. Good questions. Then X2, you've also asked me a question, or you were telling me something about your experience. So you visualize the spherical breathing technique. Yes, okay. And then you felt good. Okay. Uncovering the snakes. Cleansing, uncovering the snakes, yes, 100% correct. That is exactly what I've just referred to right now, about pouring the water in and the dirt bubble comes up to the top. Who removes the dirt? Only those who are being cleansed remove their own dirt. We don't even do that. All we do is we seed consciousness continuously. Okay, so I see, there was a part that was very, very important that was kind of interfered with radically, and it's the section about what I was trying to explain to you about the Garden of Eden story, the narration. And obviously there's a issue with that information, because no one really, They don't seem to want to have this information come out. But I'm going to tell you that the Garden of Eden, with all the characters in it, there are 6 characters. The garden is the 6th character. Then you have the God character. They're all archetypes, okay? So I'm going to give the archetypes their names as it is written in that script. It is God, Adam, Eve, the snake, the tree, and the garden. The garden being the backdrop, the garden being the planet, the garden being whatever is in the mind too. So these 6 characters are all 6 sensory beings. We are 6 sensory beings. We've always been 6 sensory beings in the immediate now, in the know now. We are 6 sensory beings because we are, you put it this way, you're a walking Garden of Eden, okay? If you get that in your mind, just think about it, walk with it a bit, because God is essentially the consciousness. Adam is your masculine potential, your masculine side of you and your feminine side of you, your sacred masculine and sacred feminine principles, abilities, energies inside of you, electricity and magnetic energy. The tree is a living being. It is you as well. The tree is your soul, okay? And the spirit is the snake. Your spirit, your higher spirit consciousness is represented as a snake. And you're having a conversation within yourself. You start to see the consciousness. Before you started to send out energy into this world, you were sitting in your Garden of Eden, in your thoughts, and you're thinking, okay, I want to think about this, and then I want to feel it, I want to send it out, I'm going to prepare myself, and I'm sending some healing, okay? Doesn't matter what you're doing, it's a frequency, okay? And how you did it is there's nothing wrong with that either. As long as you're able to make it from the step from thinking about something and making that thinking, those thoughts, Adam, into Eve, feeling. And you and that feeling, that energy goes through the tree. And then that energy is then questioned by the spirit, the conscious thought. So what I'm trying to explain to you is this. The tree is made up of, how they portrayed the tree as the tree of Kabbalah, and when I say they, I'm referring to those who have brought this into the scripture. Irrelevant what they are, it's irrelevant. The tree is made up of 10 laws. It's Moses' law. Moses wrote the 10 laws down. You won't steal, you won't kill, blah, 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 blah. 10 laws. Okay, those laws are moral codes. You can look at it that way. If you take the word law away, you'll feel that that's really essentially how we exist. You generally, as a good person, you don't want to go and kill another person. Okay, so 10 laws. But they trap you into that system by having you focus on each one of those laws or branches of that tree of Kabbalah. And for each one of those things you have to take responsibility for or something like that, whatever the case may be. Is the fact is, you become emotionally trapped into each one. You don't actually have the opportunity then to become objective, like what Ambitious said here. I feel my heart is moving around, feeling energy. My heart feels heavy, but my mind is somehow at ease. That is objectivity. That objectivity, they don't want you to have objectivity. They want you to be stuck with your head in one place every time. So what I'm trying to explain to you is that the tree is also you. You are stuck in certain beliefs or in certain laws or in certain things. We know that we are whole beings, so therefore we are not fragmented or segmented rather in 10 branches. We are a living being. I mean, your heart and everything, all of your organs are all living together in one place. You know, they're not in little blocks or in little cubes set somewhere, everywhere else. Okay. The flip side of all of that is there is the system that we're working with, which is a magnified representation of the tree. And it is called a cube. Now, the flip side, remember when I say the flip side, I'm saying that which is the opposite, that which is the reverse side. And this is a subject for another day, and I'm preparing your mind, I'm preparing your consciousness so that when I bring this subject in, when I'm going to bring it up, it's about the technocratic controlling influences using something that is not that familiar. Anyway, I'm leaving this with you for now. I hope that I have filled in the missing parts. We are a living, breathing, existing Garden of Eden with all the characters in it. We are Great Spirit in plural. Our moods determine our moods, how we feel about ourselves, determine how and in what way we bring the seed into the consciousness, and it determines the mood of Great Spirit. So if I feel that I'm not in a good mood, then what I'm projecting out into the world will be not in a good mood, and it will have a feedback back to me. So be mindful how you feel. If you feel upset or sad or angry, doesn't matter. Just breathe, relax, breathe. Bring yourself into present time. Connect with what is around you already. The first thing that switches depression, from what I've found with people that I work with, is to look at things that one has achieved. To look at, now if you think, oh my God, I have not achieved anything, remember what I said to you. Did you wake up in the ice cold outside today, or did you wake up in a warm bed? Start becoming grateful for those things. That's just anchoring you back into present time. It doesn't matter what it is. And when you look at it, like I'm having a nice warm cup of coffee, I'm grateful. It doesn't, and bless the hands who've made it, which were mine. But that is what I'm trying to explain to you. We are Great Spirit in plural. If we want to make change in the world, we must become changed. It is that simple. And we must be aware that how we are working and what we are sending out into the world. If there's a lot of snakes that bubble up to the surface, yeah, hell yeah, brilliant. Let it come, let it bubble up. Keep pouring that water. That's all we're supposed to do. Much love, and thank you so much. Sending you much love from me. Bye.